Welcome back again, everybody. It's DinaKalmeta here with CWW7 News, and I hope you all had a wonderful weekend out there and you're off to a great start for your week. And before I jump into the show, I'd like to send out a huge thank you to all of those that support this ministry and this channel. Just last week, our computer broke down and we were unable to create any videos, but there were some of you out there that actually offered your own personal laptops, and I am so grateful for you. So thank you so much to everybody who supports this ministry. You guys are amazing. We were able to get a new computer. I'm super excited about it. It's really fast, so you'll have to tell me what you think of the picture. So with that said, if there's anybody new to the channel, I'd like to send out a huge welcome and just give you a little bit of information about this channel. This channel reports on world events as it pertains to Bible prophecy. And so on Mondays, we give you breaking news reports. They might be a little shorter than normal. On Tuesdays, we bring you teachings. On Wednesdays, we do Bible prophecy updates. And on Fridays, we invite Susan Davis back to the channel, and she brings her End Times news report. So definitely a lot happening here. And so if you're new, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. So with all of that said, let's get into the news. It has been reported that apparently President Trump sent an ominous warning this weekend that nuclear weapons could end the world. The president issued this stark warning in a TV interview on Sunday morning after he floated a new arms controls with Russia and China. In a chilling warning, he said that if nukes are ever used again, it could trigger the apocalypse. The U.S. has the second largest nuclear weapon stockpile in the world, with around 5,000 weapons. Russia has the most, with nearly 6,000. And China is a distant third, with around 350. Nuclear weapons have only been used twice, in World War II. But it goes on to report that speaking on Fox, Trump said we spend a lot of money on nuclear weapons. The level of destruction is beyond anything you can imagine. It's just bad that you have to spend all this money on something that if it's used, it's probably the end of the world. He said that too many people are focused on other issues rather than tackling the global threat posed by nukes. The president said that the threat of nuclear weapons is immediate, and he warned that it could happen tomorrow. He said that I watched Biden for years say the existential threat is from the climate. I said no. The greatest is sitting on shelves in various countries called nuclear weapons that are big monsters that can blow your heads off for miles and miles and miles. Now this comes after France had offered to use its nukes to protect Europe from Russia. Fears over nuclear war loom amid unprecedented tensions worldwide as war rages in Ukraine. China threatens the U.S. over trade tensions, and the North Korean despot Kim Jong-un continues to arm. Iran is also feared to be developing nukes, with Trump sending them a letter this week calling for a new round of talks. Russia has repeatedly rattled the nuclear saber in the war in Ukraine, and Putin has long threatened the world with his ambitious superweapons, such as the Satan II nuke. Trump has long vowed to be the president of peace, and he said he wants to end wars worldwide, especially the raging conflict in Ukraine. His comments came mere days after he revealed on Friday that it would be great for the world to get rid of nuclear weapons, prompting a response from the Kremlin. President Trump said that I know Russia and us have by far the most. China will have an equal amount within 4 to 5 years. It would be great if we could all denuclearize because the power of nuclear weapons is crazy. Trump's denuking suggestion prompted a response from the Kremlin spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, stating that dialogue between Russia and the U.S. on arms control is necessary, especially concerning strategic stability. Since taking office, Trump has withdrawn U.S. military aid for Ukraine and stopped sharing intelligence with Ukraine. In the meantime, European countries have been scrambling to chip away their reliance on the U.S., with Keir Starmer announcing a hike to defense spending in the U.K. And on Wednesday, the French President Macron said that his country could gear up its nuclear deterrent to protect the continent under a defensive umbrella against Russian aggression. Moscow said the speech was threatening towards Russia and had notes of nuclear blackmail. Top diplomats from the U.S., including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, will meet the Ukrainian delegation for talks on ending the war in Saudi Arabia in a few days. It goes on finally to report that Putin is said to be ready to talk about a truce with Ukraine, as long as his conditions are met. The Kremlin's conditions for a potential truce were shared last month at the U.S.-Russian talks in Saudi Arabia. To secure a temporary ceasefire, Putin wants a clear understanding of an eventual peace settlement and what that entails. As part of the agreement, Putin will demand to establish the perimeters of a peacekeeping mission in which countries take part. In the meantime, the Daily Mail has reported that the Pentagon has issued ominous messages about nukes within hours of China saying it was ready for war. The Telegraph is reporting that the United States is to cease all future military exercises in Europe. North Korea has unveiled a nuclear-powered submarine for the first time. The Guardian reports that Canadian military flies the flag in frozen north as a struggle for the Arctic heats up. Now we have to remember that the United States wants a part of this, as well as Russia and China. Breitbart News is reporting that Poland is to increase defense spending to 5% and build 500,000-man army. The Zero Hedge reports that Chinese warships sail near Australian bases hosting U.S. submarines. In the meantime, over in the Middle East, Qatar calls to bring all of Israel's nuclear facilities under supervision of the UN nuclear watchdog. Russia trots out its newest weapons in Ukraine, and that is horses. Now, this is very interesting because in the book of Ezekiel, chapters 38 and 39, Russia, Iran, and Turkey, as well as many other nations, will try to invade Israel. And one of the forms of transportation will be horses. So this is definitely a very interesting piece. So definitely wars and rumors of wars, as noted in the books of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And of course, we see what Russia is doing with the horses. That is definitely very prophetic. But as it pertains to the end of the world, with all due respect to the president, a lot needs to happen before the end of the world can actually happen. A lot of prophecies need to come to pass. Now, we're seeing a lot of prophecies come to pass today. Actually, every minute, every second, prophecies are coming to pass. But there are very specific prophecies in the book of Revelation, in the book of Daniel, actually throughout the Bible, that needs to come to pass. For instance, the Antichrist, the false prophet, the third temple needs to be built, the mark of the beast needs to be implemented, and so much more. Now, as it pertains to war, we're definitely going to see a world war, and that's noted in the book of Revelation with the red horse. In fact, I'd like to invite you guys to go over to Susan's channel, and eventually I'm going to bring these videos over here. But her and I did a teaching on the book of Revelation, verse by verse study. So I encourage you guys to go over there, check it out. I'll leave a link below this video. She's got a whole playlist. But we did a whole study on the book of Revelation. And so we definitely go into detail as it pertains to the end of the world per se. So definitely something to go check out. But with that said, I do have more news. So stay tuned for our next breaking news report.